Welcome everyone to another FM Scout video with me, Johnny, AccessEuphoria. In today's video, something a little bit different to what I've been doing on the channel so far. This one is quite related to the content I do, and it's a challenges. It's the Building a Nation challenge. So, if you've watched my content on my channel last year, you will see that I did the exact same thing with AIK, and we had a lot of fun with it and did really well with it. And I have a new series which will be using the exact same challenge coming up on my channel with FC Midland very soon. Talking to my channel, if you haven't already, please do go and check out AccessEuphoria. It's all around you. I'd love to see you on the channel very soon. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, Building a Nation challenge then. Let's quickly go over the let's just say the rules, the objectives, all that kind of stuff of the series. So, you need lots and lots of leagues loaded to be able to get tons of regens. And we'll go through a lot of these bits as we actually get into the video, and I'll show you how I set up my game. We want to pick a lower rated European league. So someone, obviously, in the league rankings, when you look at it, so for example, if you just go to England, Premier League, you can see down the side that it'll say like 1 to, I think, about 18 gets in that panel of different top leagues. And you want to pick one that's probably below at least 16, 17, 18, maybe like 18, 17 from below, let's say something like that, you know, give you a proper challenge. If you pick like England to a second, it's not really a challenge. It's just, oh yeah, we won the Champions League, we're now top. It's nothing. You want to be, you know, even top 10 is quite easy. You want to be someone that's, you know, 15 from below, let's say. Then scout every region. Again, if you want to know about this, check out my other FM Scout content where I went through all the different scouting tips and ways to do it. The main way, the best way, is scouting every region, and that's the way you'll need to really do this series justice. Sign a ton of regen players, and it's all about regen players, not going after the existing players really. You might sign a couple in your first year just to try and get yourself in Europe, you know, into Europe or in the Champions League if you're not already. But other than that, it's about regens. Then you want to develop your regen players, loan them out to other clubs in your league. So that's what it's about. You need to build a nation, so you need to support your other teams in your league. This kind of goes into the next point about develop the club and nation to number 1. The only way you're going to do that is by building your coefficient points, and that's by doing well in European competition, so Europa League and Champions League. So to do that, you need to supply the other teams in your league. So your rivals, yes, your rivals are going to need your players because they're not going to have the money. They're going to go after, you know, an AI team is going to go after poor players. So maybe what you have is your youngsters. So let them have them on loan, even for free. Just get them players. It will develop your player, and that player might become an awesome player for you, but also it means in the short term they might be able to use that player, do really, really well, challenge you in the league, but also do well in Europe, get more coefficient points, which leads to getting more Champions League spots, and so on and so on. And that's how you develop the league. You want to achieve glory yourself. You want to try and win some Champions Leagues, some Europa Leagues, Super Cups, all that kind of stuff. But the definitions of kind of like success in this series is also the other teams in your league winning European competitions as well, not just yourself. And that is what will really show that you have made it a massive success in building a nation. Now let's get into it. I'll show you how to set it up and a few bits about doing the series. So I've quickly talked about the rules, the objectives, all that kind of stuff of the series. Let's show you how I get it all set up then. So for example, my FC Midland save that I'll be doing shortly, this is how I will go and set it up. So I'll choose FC Midland of Denmark, I'll hit advanced setup. And for these types of saves, basically you need a hell of a lot of leagues loaded up. So it's very much one that it needs a good computer to do. So I have it on large database because I'm not as bothered about current players. It's more about getting the regens in. So I don't need to do any special custom things there. A few other things to mention is add in the add players to playable teams, because I will add regens in because you're going to be adding a lot of leagues that might not have youth teams and things like that in properly loaded. So if you add that little box, it means at least they'll add some regens in, and that's some extra regens. A few of those might, you never know, be awesome regens or new gens or however you want to call it, that you might be able to get scouted into your club very early days. I always prevent the use of in-game editor, but other than that, you can leave that blank. Now if you go to add or remove leagues, this is how I set it up. So Australia, China, South Africa, Sweden, Switzerland, Ukraine, Chile, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, USA, Mexico, Czech, Croatia, Bulgaria, Belgium, Belarus, Australia, Finland, France, Greece, Holland, Hungary, Poland, Norway, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Scotland, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, and there you go. That's kind of my minimum setup. You could add pretty much every single league in there if you want, but that's the ones that over the few years of doing this, well, quite a few years now, I've kind of given this a go in my own saves, either on YouTube or not. These are some of the leagues I've had the most, good regions for. Now, I don't tick certain ones just basically based on I've not had that many come through, and it's mostly down to the fact that the clubs themselves just can't produce them. So, in good quantities, it's not really worthwhile doing it. Northern Ireland, Wales, and like Ireland, Iceland, some of the others as well. Now, they will get some from time to time, and so you miss out on that. But it's the fact that I've got so many here that I'm happily covered. So you hit confirm on that. You can see that the game speed has completely tanked there. So I will join you back in a second when the game loads up, and we'll go through a few of the little tips for doing the series. So here we are, we loaded up the game. Now, if you want to know exactly how to scout all these players, I've done a separate video on that, and you want to do the best option, which is scout every region. That's what you do for this type of series. So go check out that video. It's on FM Scout. It's my top tips for scouting every region. I've also got it on my channel, AccessEuphoria, where I purely go into a bit more detail about this method of scouting. So check out both. That'll help you out if you're wanting to do a bit more information. I can't cover it in this video because it's just repeating what I've done in a previous video. Go check those out. But basically, all you do is you'll see them all in here. Your world transfers, your youth intake, they'll all be there. So you'll scout them all. Now, a big tip is to make sure in your staff responsibilities, personal assistant, you have it set to when you scout a player, add him to shortlist for indefinitely. When you scout a player, watch him until full knowledge. Now, this will really help you out. It saves you having to consistently go back and add to shortlist the same player or scout them for longer. It just saves you so many clicks. Just remember, you're going to be scouting about 10 to 12,000 players every year. It's a lot of clicks. If you have to do scout, add to shortlist, and do full knowledge, that's 3 clicks. That's 30, maybe 6,000 clicks you're going to have to do. Over exaggerating, but it's not that, but you kind of get the idea. It's a lot of clicks, a lot of players that you have to deal with. So just save yourself the trouble and just do that. Now, once you then scout some players, so we're going to pretend that that these players here are from my region. So this is my scouting view. Just quickly, guys, just on mentioning the scouting view, it is on the Steam Workshop. If you just search for AccessEuphoria's Workshop or AE Building a Nation Scouting View, even if you just put AE, I come up there, and just download that. Yeah, it's my scouting view. That if you've just seen it on there, you want to have it yourself, I've put it on the Steam Workshop, so you can go and grab it yourselves. I will link it at the end of the video, so you can sort of get that outfit I have put on the Steam Workshop. But this is my scouting view I've created. So it has like the name, knowledge level, recommendation in the number form, but also has the ability and potential scouts, star rating, nation, club. Because if it's a big club, you're probably not going to get them, so it kind of helps you weed those out. Asking prices and values, and the team. So if they're in an international team already, so for example, if this guy was a 17-year-old Finnish player, he's already in the main team, and you think, well, something about this kid, he's already in the first team of his international team, then he's definitely worth looking at, taking a gamble on potentially, because he's already made it to that level. He's not just gone up in the 19s, he's gone straight in the main squad. All these kind of things here. Now, you can obviously define who might be interested in transfers and loans and all that kind of stuff. That can help you out. But the main thing you want to do is go under here and have it set as additional conditions set to potential, so scouting. So you're going to do scouting potential. Click on the wrong one there. Scouting potential is at least, and then I choose 4-star to start with. You can improve that. So as your club grows and you get more and more great regions, you can set your kind of benchmark up a little bit so that you get just even better ones. So it'll basically weed these all out. Now, for example, when you grow, this is the main thing you want to do. So let's say we now have grown up the club a bit, so we only want 4.5-star players with potential. So that obviously is the list there. Now, what you do is you change the at least to at most, and this helps you weed out the ones. So these ones are at most 4.5 stars. So we're not interested in these. So what you do is you'd come in here, you'd right click, go to scouting, and because you set it to scout to full knowledge, you'd go in there and you'd cancel that assignment, so the scouts can stop bothering about these players that are not going to be good enough for you. and you're removed from shortlist. So when you then go back, put that to at least, you've now got purely the ones that are 4.5 star or better on your shortlist. So it means that you're only going to be interested in the best of the best players out there. You're not going to have to worry about the rubbish rest. But it also means that when you're scouting these players, every sort of week or so, come into this shortlist, go through, do the at least and at most bit, get rid of all the ones that don't make it, cancel their assignments so your scouts can go and work on some new players, remove them from the shortlist. It keeps your shortlist nice and short. Obviously, it will get long because you are scouting sort of 10,000 players each year. You're going to get a lot of them. The other thing to do is then work through, try and sign them. If you can't sign them, get rid of them or move them to a separate shortlist to look at later on. But that is it really. That is how to do the shortlist side of things. Check out the scouting video for how to do the actual scouting side of things. But that's all links up. That's how it is. Now the next thing to do really is just, you'll have all your players. You'll want to put them in like your U team. You want to do tutoring. So obviously you want to get them tutored by another player, for example. Go pick a player that's got really good determination, good stats in his position. Obviously, you should know about the tutoring side of things. So go and do that. That really helps them out. But also, you need to, this whole series is about developing the league as well. So you need to support the clubs around you. So if you, for example, you sell a player. So you've got a young player who's got good potential. Let's say he's got 4-star potential, but you've got better players. You've got 5-star potential. So you don't really need this guy anymore. Well, when you get rid of him, click this button here, exclude foreign clubs. That means that they're only going to offer him out to domestic clubs, so leagues in your nation. So it might not be your league, it might be one below, but it's going to go to a team that hopefully can then use that player to develop themselves, challenge you in the league, also challenge in Europe, because that's what it's all about, the European coefficient. So tick that button. Again, when you're loaning players out, tick that button. It'll go to your clubs in your league. Now, sometimes you might not get offers, so you might need to offer them out to foreign clubs, but if you at least try for a few times your nation first, if it goes to a team in your league, that's going to help with the challenge, with the series that you're trying to do. Now, I talked about coefficients there. Basically, it means you go to Europe, you go to nation club coefficients, and these are your coefficients. So each year, you get a coefficient based on how well you do in European football, Champions League, Europa Leagues, all that kind of stuff. So you need to do well. You need to get qualified. You need to get far into competitions. Just basically on your own. So just with you doing well and the other team struggling a bit, you'll probably get up to about, I think, 12th, maybe 10th at a push. I mean, in ARK, I think we got to around that mark before we really needed the other teams to kind of kick in. But past that, 10th onwards, you're going to struggle to make that big top jump. As you can see, coefficient-wise, it goes up dramatically. I mean, Denmark currently is on 23.7 coefficients, whereas Spain's on 88. And it takes a hell of a lot to get up there. A good season's maybe like 14, 20 up there. Good seasons down here is like 3. It takes a huge jump. You need to be winning. You need to consistently get to finals. You need other teams doing that as well. That's why I said it's so important. You need to supply your other teams with the loan players. Don't just loan them out to foreign clubs because they'll pay you more. You need them in your league because otherwise they're not going to develop. They're not going to challenge in Europe and you're never going to grow the league coefficients to a suitable level. Now what that basically means is your coefficient points make your qualification points. So this is all the European qualification spots. So currently Denmark is sat here. So they just get the 1 Champions League spot, which is in the first qualifying round. And they get 3 Europa Leagues, 2 in the first qualifying, 1 in the second qualifying. As you grow, for example, when you get to 15th spot, you get 2 Champions League spots. So that's your first target. Another club in your league is going to get in Champions League qualifying. You then get a few good youngsters to them on loan. They might even get through to a group stage. So A, they'll get lots of money, so they can go and develop themselves. You don't need to assist them as much. But also, all the extra coefficient points mean that you'll probably then bounce to 12, where then you might even move up a few levels and get into the playoffs. And basically, you'll move forward rounds, so you less chance of getting knocked out of the Champions League, basically. And when you get to 10th, you get automatically into the group stage. Obviously, 6th, you get 2 automatically in the group stage, and it moves on like that. Obviously, the top 4 get 4 spots. So it's a lot, of work, but it's very, very rewarding. And that's what makes this save so fun and so interesting. There's a lot that goes into it, building all the young regens, developing the other clubs in your league, and achieving the goals of growing to that #1 spot right there where Spain currently is. It will take a long, long time. So this is a long save. But if you're really into that kind of stuff, this is an awesome save to do. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, fire them down below. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.